we have our very own SigNu driver up here. Why don't you introduce yourself once you feel comfortable?
Yeah, so my name's Seanna. I'm a physics major, and I just joined SigNu this year. Used to be a part of SDC, and got the opportunity to drive, and now we're going for it.
Nice, nice. So what would you say is the biggest difference between, and as much as you can tell us, driving for an organization like SDC versus driving for SigNu? And that this is a tricky question, but I have to ask.
No, it's a hot take though.
They're definitely on opposite sides of the spectrum, but there's definitely really great things about both of them. One thing I loved about SDC was, the attention to, the work that has been put into the team for years and years and years before. And SigNu has that same attention, but it's definitely sort of a lot more laid back and fun in terms of, inspiring people to just put out their ideas and giving them the opportunity to put out those ideas and get involved in every way possible. Whereas you kind of have to work up to it at SDC.
Yeah, you have to gain access.
Yeah,
As you would. So, do you feel like anybody could come in to SigNu and be able to throw out a wild and crazy idea?
I think so. Yeah, they're very welcoming to ideas. I think they're also very excited about. We had discussions about even building a joke buggy again. Something just for fun that looks really fun that maybe a larger person could drive. And so we throw out ideas like that, and we get excited about pursuing that in the future.
That's fantastic. So, what would you say, you guys, post this race day? What are the plans for the future? Everybody should have a 3-year plan.
Well, I think we certainly talk about how to improve. Buggies about the times a lot, and we have lots of thoughts on how to improve. We have our next driver, Dylan Bonanno, is going to be driving us next year. So we're excited to get him ready. But we also have a lot of discussions about how to, inspire and do some fun things. And I know you mentioned earlier possible LEDs on the bottom of the buggy just for fun.
I saw that interview. I would think that's a fantastic addition, especially for early morning rolls.
Exactly. Just a little bit of fun in there.
So tell me about driving crate. Describe that whole experience as you're getting shoved downhill too and driving crate.
Yeah, it was certainly something to get used to. I was really nervous on that first run that I did, but certainly more on the second one. We had switched out our wheels for some faster ones, and I was really cooking. And it took a while to get used to the steering. It's a little bit different, and it took a little while to get comfortable in the buggy.
Standard trike versus reverse trike, do you have a preference?
What is that?
So SDC with the one wheel in the front, SigNu with 2 in the front.
I don't really have a preference. I just kind of saw what it was and decided to learn it the best I could.
Really?
Yeah. I actually, there's one thing I really like about it is I can be very subtle and gentle with the steering rather than having to really put a lot of effort into turning.
So Brian wants to know about your experience during truck weekend. How long were you in that thing?
I was in the buggy for about 3 hours and I had a 5-minute break. But the
Did they give you snacks?
Yes, they bought me snacks. They got me hot chocolate. They took very good care of me. They checked in, every minute, every roll. Gave me the opportunity to skip a roll if I needed to. But
it's pretty big. I mean, you're not packed in that thing, huh?
I would say that crate is probably the most comfortable buggy, and I am a bit large of a driver, so that's where I got the opportunity.
You're just kind of tall. What are you, 5'1"?
Actually, about 5'4". Yeah,
what are you guys
5'3",
doing?
4'4".
Well, nice job today. It was really smooth. It was just fun to watch. So
thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
was
appreciate
terrific.
it.
I'm rooting for you guys. If Pika can't win, I'd love to see a SigNu win. So,
Thank you.
I'm a big fan, and we actually were hanging out. There's actually right now there are Pikes and SigNu guys hanging out in the chute turn together.
Wow,
it's crazy.
That is great. That's good to hear.
That's something that we haven't really seen too much of, that sort of competitive rivalry between Pika and SigNu. I'd love to see that come back.
I'd like to see some more competition come back for sure. I mean, some more cooperation come back for sure between teams. The competitive nature is very high. I noticed that from freshman year on out.
So as you go through your free rolls, do they tell you what they're going to do? Like, do you say, hey, today we're going to go hot. I want you to try a different line. Do they film you? Like, how does that go around?
So when we were doing our free rolls, I was tending to be in front of the buggy I was racing with, so I wasn't able to get a lot of film on the lines. But, it was the second roll of the day. We were aiming to get 14. We said, let's just push this speed as much as we can. So they checked in with me, asked me if they wanted to, take the bags off, if they wanted a larger hill 2 push, and we worked it up as much as we could.
And you feel pretty comfortable? like you
Yeah.
feel like you can move that thing and you're one with the buggy now?
I'd like to push it more than I did today.
All right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had a driver. Her favorite term was, "I just want to go faster."
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I definitely do.
Tell them, "Hey, I want to go faster."
If we get another opportunity to roll, I think we'll push it a little bit more.
Any trouble like being in there and pushing it and doing like? Do you have any qualms about being in the buggy? Any worries or fears?
Honestly, no. I was nervous for this race until I got in the buggy, until I was on the ground, and then I felt really excited and really ready to go. And like I said, Crate is probably the one of the most comfortable buggies to be in. And 3 hours was a bit tough.
Do you
but-
talk to yourself? Do you make any noise in there? Are you
Oh
quiet?
yeah, I talk to myself a lot. Yeah, just to remember, all the little details of the turning and
we
the lines.
should do a mic drop.
Right. So if there's a
the
microphone in
buggies.
there, what would we
Yeah.
hear?
Ooh, I was telling myself over and over to be subtle but deliberate with the steering.
Excellent.
To remember to really focus on making my turns, but to not freak out about it, because you do it a little bit too hard and that's a spin.
That's right.
Telling myself to take some deep breaths at first, but then once I said I was on the ground, I felt ready to go and
What
a
do you
lot better.
What do you think on the back hills? Like, what's going through your head? So, like, you're through the shoot turn. That's your biggest stressor. Now you're on the back hills, and it's all the push team. Like, what's going through your head?
Well, the first time I was pushed on the back hills, I actually flew to the back of the buggy a little bit.
Ooh.
So I was definitely focusing on kind of like bracing myself a little bit and keeping my arms strong to keep the steering from wiggling as
Right.
they're pushing me.
Yep. So
Holding
you're
the
thinking like
straight
be
line.
steady, hold a good line.
Yeah, hold it straight line, be steady. I'm trying to look out for any cracks on the road, any
Yep.
sort of bumps, and avoid those. Although through course walks, we were able to find how to avoid those ahead of time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for
Cool.
having
Yeah,
me.
thanks for joining.